What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 13 of the Coffee with Sam podcast. This episode is brought to you by my very uncleanly shaven beard and another Hawaiian t-shirt. My guest today has been a cheerleader for over 15 years, was on all three Team England winning teams. So they are a bronze, silver and world champion, but also the owner of one of the UK's most successful cheerleading apparel businesses. They do t-shirt printing, they do cheerleading floors, they do cheerleading bags. The way they're going, they're going to be pumping out cheerleaders if they keep going the way they're going. My guest today is none other than Ryan Cleaver. Roll that intro.
Hello, hello.
What's up, dude? How are we?
You're on silent.
That's a good start.
There we go. There we go.
How are we?
Yeah, not too bad. We just had a massive power cut, but it's literally just come back on now. So
welcome to the Coffee with Sam podcast, Ryan Cleaver.
thank you very much for having me.
We know you have been successful throughout your cheer career. How many years?
Since I was about 18, so probably 8 years now, 9 years nearly.
Well, that's bad because in my intro I said 15, so I need to change that.
Well, I guess if you take into account the background of gymnastics and stuff I had, I mean, I've done that since I was 8. So yeah, a long time.
Very successful career too. You were on Coventry Dynamite Ignite.
I was indeed.
And also all 3 years of Team England.
Do you know what? This is actually this year of Worlds would have been the first year I haven't done Team England and I haven't been to Worlds.
So is that 5 years Team England?
5 or 6, maybe 5, I think.
All 3 medals. So you've got gold, silver, bronze.
Yep.
Bro, I bet they would be hanging up in my office behind you.
I know. You know what? They are at home. They're in a drawer with all a few of the medals and stuff put away neatly. I think they'll go up at some point. When that will be, I don't know, but definitely for sure at some point.
Awesome. So we've got you here today more not to talk about your career because cheer's probably done for you now on an athlete level.
Yeah, I think so.
We want to talk about you own a very, very successful cheerleading apparel company. You do bags, printing. I don't know. The only thing you don't do is probably make athletes.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So how did that come about and when did you start?
I mean, really, it was kind of just happened in the moment thing. I actually left sixth form and wanted to go to uni, but I had a gap year first. And I think that made all the difference. I think having that gap year, doing some work at the time I was coaching, so doing all that, I think probably didn't put me in the right mentality to go to uni. And I actually went to uni to study PE teaching, and after about 4 or 5 weeks said, it's not for me. So it wasn't even that long. Probably could have given it a go a little bit longer, but in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't. And basically reverted back to coaching, gymnastics coaching, obviously coaching and participating in cheer as well. And it was at that sort of point where back then, I mean, this was probably 2013 maybe, there wasn't actually a lot of cheer merchandise happening. And it came to a point where we were talking at Cov, and we just needed some t-shirts doing, and we knew a family friend that printed them. So obviously we contacted him, put a little design together just on generic text and got them made. And then suddenly someone in my head just went, hang on a minute, you know, why don't I start doing something like this? So I spoke to my dad. He obviously has been such a great help in everything that's gone on because he's a businessman himself. I think you know him personally as well. You know, he's really good at giving advice and stuff. So we basically had a little chat, and we started talking about the idea of printing our own t-shirts, mainly because he has a business, my brothers did sport, and there's a bit of a customer base there. And we did it. So we invested a bit of money in this direct garment printer. It's basically, imagine a paper printer, but it prints on t-shirts instead. And that was set up in the garage. It wasn't specifically aimed at cheer. It was just for everyone and anything.
Yeah, you used on a fitness brand too, didn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so Frontline Apparel was something that I started and sold.
Well, the brands are available.
Yeah, of course. So started that as well. So like I say, I was just printing other bits and bobs, but very quickly the cheer side became quite popular in that obviously we'd done some t-shirts for Carve, and then other people started kind of, who I knew that I was printing t-shirts and asked for some bits and bobs. And I think the word spread quite quickly that all these people were getting different designs.
So what year was that, Ryan?
I think probably after about between 8 to 10 months of printing. And at that point, I mean, I was in the garage till God knows what time at night printing, and obviously setting up an email account, doing some emails to a few people, again, mainly family, friends, whatever. But after about probably 8 to 10 months, it turned into, okay, let's focus on cheer, because the demand was there. And that's when it kind of started, and Power Nation became, at the time, solely for the cheer and dance industry. And to this day, we still are. Cheer, dance, gymnastics is what we specialise in. But obviously, we offer for anyone and everyone who contacts us for what they want. But yeah, it was very quickly decided that it was going to be cheer based, and for as long as I could, I stayed as a one-man band, trying to do everything. Very quickly learned that you can't do that.
Yeah.
Now we're probably 2018. Now we moved into our first unit. We employ 4 full-time staff, 1 part-time staff, and yeah, we're in our own unit with all our own machinery, doing everything in house, or majority of the things in house, which is brilliant.
So you think the time that it came about was pretty good? That was like
2013. I think,
and that was when I started to come into cheer. So
yeah,
I've seen the growth of cheer from then. So do you think you got in not the right time, but quite a good time?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I say, cheer has grown massively since we've done it, and that kind of back in 2013. If I think back to the first training sessions I had, it's quite funny to think that we were doing that, and then years later we went to Worlds and we were doing the things that we're doing on Carve and Team England, and everyone in the cheer industry. So I think that it definitely was a good time in terms of at the time of the growth of the sport, but also it was a time where, with that growth, the kind of merchandise and everything that people wanted grew with it. And so it was a 2 birds, 1 stone, really. It was just growing together. And obviously it's something that I enjoy doing as well. So keeping, everyone says, don't they, if you do a job that you love doing, it's not really going to be a job. And that's something that, although it's very, very stressful at times, especially, like I say, back in the day when we were growing at such a rate that I think I was so stressed trying to do everything, not knowing if you can employ someone to kind of take over that role, and actually both, I guess, financially mainly, but in my head also just thinking, can we afford to do that? Are we going am I going to be able to delegate and give someone that role? But yeah, it all kind of grew quite nicely, and it's turned out well.
So, like, how do you feel being a young boss?
Do you know what? It is weird, if I'm honest, especially because, to start with, I employed, or the first person I employed was a friend of mine, a family friend actually, on cover me, and he actually came back from uni to start lending a hand. Didn't know what he wanted to do with university and was going to drop out. So I said, listen, if that is what you want to do, there's a job here for you if you want to, kind of start that ride with me. And yeah, he's still here now. So it is weird, obviously, having that friendship. It is quite difficult to kind of change between the two. But it's other than that, I think I'm just more, I'm ready to learn. I think that more so now than ever, especially in this kind of pandemic that's going on now, where everything's almost shut off. I've had a chance to sit back and kind of plan and actually reflect on what's gone on. And, you know, hopefully now, definitely the year that's just gone, now that I'm, you know, not doing cheer, and I've decided to step back and actually focus on the future, the business, but also just my life in general. I think, you know, there's so much to reflect on and try and change and improve on. Because, you know, like any business, there has been struggles, there has been issues that you go through in the past. And I think a lot to do with that was that I was trying to do so much. I was doing cheer and I was trying to run the business, and I was, you know, printing everything myself or whatever. And, you know, you can't do it all, and therefore issues and mistakes happen. So that's obviously something that, like any business, we're going to now try and smooth out and grow from there.
So do you find being young though, you've made mistakes? Obviously, every businessman makes mistakes. Your dad, at the level you said, your dad's pretty high business, and he still makes mistakes.
Oh,
When you're at a higher level, making a mistake it's easier to deal with. Do you feel you might have made mistakes because you were young, and like I can imagine you don't want to delegate, you don't want to tell anyone, you want to do it all yourself? And do you think that's become a problem, well, was a problem in the past?
Yeah, 100%. Like I say, until probably a year ago, I would, you know, even though we'd then at that point probably got 2 or 3 employees, I'd still be checking everything, making sure that it was all good, or saying, oh no, or just changing little bits when, you know, you can't do that. But I think that, yeah, being at a young age, I think you've got a lot to learn. You know, once you get a bit older and you kind of, I guess, mature more and kind of get a bit more wisdom behind you, you can kind of take it from there, and you can delegate and understand and make changes that will be more beneficial. You know, I'm 26, so it's, you know, still quite young. When I started the business, I was 18. So, you know, until you realise that you need to, you know, look into running businesses, and I read a lot of books and stuff now in terms of how to kind of grow and how to actually delegate and how to keep that train going, really. That's where it started to sink in now. And again, that's why this time period over the last year and the pandemic kind of time has been really good to actually take a massive step back while everything slowed down. And I think, you know, now I feel so much better about where we're going to go compared to running around like a headless chicken before. So yeah, definitely. I think the older you get, the more you start to understand.
Do you feel when you first started it felt like a hobby?
Yeah, definitely.
And then at what point did you go, oh,
do you know,
I think it's not a hobby anymore?
No, I think at first, you know, it was something that I didn't know what I wanted to do. It was involved in cheer, and that's something that I love doing. So yeah, doing that and kind of staying in that kind of bubble, I guess, was really good. It was kind of when, I think it's when it got to the point where it became too much for me to handle. And I just remember there was one night where I just had a breakdown. I just said, I'm never going to get this stuff done. And obviously my mum and dad, you know, they'd come out and help every now and then if I was struggling. You know, I'd be in there till 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock some nights, trying to get everything sorted. And yeah, it was then I kind of thought, well, okay, right, I really need to plan this properly and turn it into a bit more of a structured business rather than something that I'm doing as a hobby. But I think the initial thing was, from the garage, I actually rented some space at my dad's unit, and then moved into a bigger space at my dad's unit, and then finally came here. But I think it was actually when I came here to my own unit that it really hit home, and it's like, right, this is, you know, serious now. We're actually got all these bills to pay.
You didn't have the security.
No, exactly. So, you know, if something went a little bit wrong, or money was tight at or there's issues at the place I was renting for my dad, you know, obviously family, he would help me out and it would be fine. But coming here, it was like, hey, you know, it was a big step, big step. You know, and it was like, okay, right now this is serious. We've got to keep on top of everything. We've got to make sure that staff get paid. But at the same time, we want to control everything and make sure we're in a good position to grow. And, you know, I think we found that a lot of the stuff that we provide, you know, we try and keep prices reasonable for everyone. You know, we try and keep them down as much as possible. And I think that everyone, everyone likes our products that we've worked with. We've worked with so many teams in the UK, in Europe, and even worldwide, that, you know, have been so supportive of us, especially those really that have used us for a long time now and continue to come back to us, and people that understand that, especially when we were growing, that there would be delays and would be issues, and have been really supportive of that way. And you know, I thanks to them, thanks to everyone that's really, you know, purchased from us, because they've kept us going, and put us in the position that we're.
So before we get onto this sticky situation and what the world's in, so take away, like, yeah, you've had that nice little cushion. Not everyone's always got a cushion.
Yeah.
For any young entrepreneurs or startups, what would, if you've got more than one, but your one main do this first that you've maybe learned on the way, or
I can honestly say that I don't think there's one thing. I think that it's a case of, you need to have a bit of a goal in mind that needs to be, you know, realistic, but it can also be a bit ambitious. And I think that you've got to just plan your route to that and how you're going to do it, and kind of back yourself up, and basically just have that mindset of, right, I am going to get there. There is going to be bumps in the road, but no matter what, we're going to get to this destination, and that's how you've got to look at it. I mean, you know, there's been so many bumps in the road that I hit, and you know, put you on a breaking point at sometimes, but you've just got to remember that there's always a positive to take from it. It's a learning curve, and you will eventually get there. So I think that's the main advice I'd offer, is that, you know, anything is possible. You've just got to make sure that you are willing to take on all those bumps in the road, and make sure that you continue to drive forwards.
So for the listeners, literally just go for it.
Yeah, just go for it. I say, as long as it's feasible. You know, you can't just set a goal that's going to be out of reach, but, you know, you set something when you get close to that goal, you set that next goal, and then that just keeps going. That's definitely what I'd recommend.
Awesome. Well, I know how you feel though, like, dude, because I've done the same thing. I've always wanted to prove people that you can do what you want to do, as long as you've got a plan in place, which is why COVID's hit me so hard, because it's taken everything from underneath me. It's taken me 6 years to get to where I wanted to be. Yeah. And I'm finally at that point where it was like, I told you also I'd do it. And then it's like, woof, carpet gone. And I'm like, oh. But like, I'd like to tell listeners and viewers that, like, you have passed down what your dad's taught you, because you've helped me out. Yeah. Yeah. So you've done me favors where, you know, you could do them. Like, I wouldn't come along and I wouldn't ask for money. So I'm not, listeners don't go ringing Ryan to back up to fund your new company. But he has helped me out, just maybe advice, putting me in touch with his dad, or even just a little item here and there, or and he's passed that down from his dad. So yeah, I'd say like that you've learned, you haven't got rid of things you've learned as such. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that passing on, like,
try not to blow smoke up your ass too much. That's what I'm trying to do here. But I'm trying
but passing on any knowledge and learning curves, I think it's always brilliant. I mean, we have a few customers that come to us, and, you know, if we can't do something for them, or there's sometimes a better option, we'll point them in the right direction. You know, there's I think someone was on about moving a floor the other day, and they just contacted us and were just saying, right, you know, what would you need, how, van size, this, that, the other. You know, anything that can help people out, especially in the industry we're in, you know, and at this time, you know, that's what we're looking to do.
So where did that's another thing. So like I say, you make, apart from athletes, you make everything. Like, where did the floor thing come from?
The floor thing, again, was a case of we actually needed one for Cov. We'd never had a sprung floor. I think the first year we went to Worlds, we didn't even have a sprung floor. So it got to the point where that, obviously, team and business was growing back in the days that I was working with Sarah. Sarah Biggs. Yeah, Sarah Biggs. So obviously back then we were.
Did you both? It was never like Coventry owned Power Nation, but you.
No, so they were two businesses running aside each other, and we basically made a decision to run them together. but it was more so that we were just helping each other out, and I was still focusing on this, and Sarah was still focusing on that, but we were just running them together. And obviously now, I don't know how long ago now, but we have kind of split, still working together, but we've just decided to take on kind of our own reins of each business now.
Good, so you heard it here first, viewers. Coventry never owned Power Nation.
Yeah.
I know that always used to be a talk in the industry. But it was always Covo and Power Nation and So I'm glad we've wrapped that. That's a good. It's taken years to get it out there, but
there's always talk in the industry, isn't there? Like, look at the worst thing in the cheer industry, the cheer forum. Jesus, that's just
we're not talking about that.
Yeah, so we'll put a lid on that one straight away. But yeah, there's speculation all the time, isn't there? But yeah, so anyway, Carl, we needed floors. So at that time, there was only one other company that offered floors in the UK, and it was an extortionate price. Well, I thought anyway, for kind of what it was. So again, I kind of sat down with my dad. I sat down with my family friend at the time, who was a builder, and we basically kind of, between the contacts of all of us, and money that we had, a little bit of money to invest, we decided to kind of start manufacturing parts for the floors. And almost, I mean, the first cod floor we put down was a little bit of a prototype. I have to say, it was made out of bits of material that my dad at his factory could manipulate to work, as like feet for springs and stuff like that. And it was brilliant. It
I think
worked.
a lot of the UK coaches can what's it called? Thingy with that. They can. I can't remember the word.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean, but I can't remember either. But just agree with the fact that.
It's. I've seen some classic floors that have been. Well, my dad made it, or that made it. You were just lucky that you had in engineering backgrounds to be able to create better products.
It's just one of those things where you've got two things. You have an idea and you've got something that can assist it in a way. And as soon as you find that, it's going to be a lot easier. But that floor that was a prototype that went down in 2014, I think, only got kind of refurbished about 6 months ago. So it lasted a good old time. But from then, we figured out that actually we could offer floors at a cheap price than a competitor. Again, the main thing with this was, it's something that we could offer, but it will help teams so much. Again, back then there wasn't that many teams with sprung floors, and I think we've fitted over 30 or so now. And it's just a case of, we were like, right, let's do it. So we invested a bit of money in molds and stuff like that. And then quite shortly after fitting a few floors, again, when people are struggling, because it's still a lot of money to pay up front. So what we started doing is offering payment plans. So we would take a hit for the first kind of deposit, and then it would be a case of X amount deposit, and then the rest would be paid over 10 to 15 months. I think actually when we first started, it was over 24 months, which we don't do now, unfortunately, because we realised it was way too long. And we can obviously cash flow and stuff, we can afford to do that. But 10 to 15 months now, that just means that teams have a little bit of security and time frame to pay it back, spreading the costs.
Awesome. So I can see you like to help people out, and you like to try and do what you can down the line. So I believe you've set up some like packages for this to help teams with this COVID situation.
Yeah. So
tell me about those.
So we had to furlough all our staff. So as you can see, I'm here on my ones today, as I have been most days, just coming down. But I actually sat down with my girlfriend Jess, and we basically just kind of, in our spare time, we started thinking, right, what can we do to kind of help everyone out in this current situation. Obviously, in the back of my mind as well, I was also trying to kind of help us as well, because everyone needs to help each other out. I want to make sure that our staff still have a job when we come back. So what can we do to help all our customers and new customers out, but also keep us afloat. And this is where these Kickstart packages came in. And we thought it would be a great idea to kind of come up with a set amount of packages that offer discounts to customers based on main items that teams would need. So the first package was just simply a t-shirt that we were offering at $9.99, again for minimum of 10, and it's just a drop in price from what we would normally do, just to help everyone out. To one of the packages, I think package 6, which is absolutely everything you'd need. It was a uniform, t-shirt, baseball jersey, practice wear, everything in, and I think that was saving about 43% on normal prices. And again, it just means that everyone can start to arrange and organise next season, or when they come back to cheer, and have something that can just kind of help them out in terms of promoting and bringing back in merchandise for their teams. Because obviously, everyone seems to get it every year. It is quite a big thing in the cheer industry. So if people can, do that and use that and benefit from it slightly, then that'd be brilliant. And then the last package put in was for floors. So rather than offer, we actually dropped the deposit amount to just 25%, and then again paying back over 12 to 15 months depending on the item. So again, just stuff in place to help people just kickstart the kind of cheer industry and their program teams and guess livelihood for a lot of coaches.
Nice. So you got 3 different packages. So t-shirt.
Wow. In general, we've got 7. We've got the basic one is a t-shirt. Then there's other ones like t-shirt and baseball jersey, t-shirt and crop sets. But then down to 6, which is everything that are in all the packages above. And then 7 is floors and mats, etc.
Nice. I like that. There's another go back as a business. So if any like young entrepreneurs or anything are watching this, then we've all got to try and do what we can to make a living in this very weird time. But you're also helping other people out because you're a cheerleader yourself, or you are a cheerleader yourself, and you understand the situation. You also were a coach. You're also on the ownership board of a program, so you understand I think you understand the whole industry, to be honest, what's going on with everyone. So it's very nice that, you have thought about number 1, which we all have to, but you've also, it's thinking about everybody else underneath you at the same time.
Definitely.
I think that's wicked. Where can people find you, as in company?
So we obviously have our unit in Rugby. Anyone's free to drop in, and we have some people come and collect their items, and people just drop in every now and then and say hello, which is quite nice. Excuse me. But in general, we have a website, www.powernationcheer.com, and that is actually just undergoing some reconstruction at the minute. We're actually looking to add in some online portals for coaches to log in and make some purchases a bit quicker for the individual items, because a lot of the items we do have no minimum order. So there, obviously on Instagram, Power Nation Cheer as well. A lot of our products can be found on Instagram, but anyone that really needs to get in contact to us, if you just search for us on any search engine, search for us on social media, you'll be able to find us there. Just pop us an email. Really, we work with everyone on an email basis, just chatting on bespoke designs from start to finish. So we'll sort it out that way.
Where can people download your new COVID packages?
So we don't have a download at the minute. There is a section online that just explains what we're doing, and it's just a case of contacting us and asking for that information. So again, if anyone wants the information on our Kickstart schemes, if they just email info@powernationcheer.com, and someone will then get back to them with the relevant information, just explaining what those packages are and the costs of those packages. But just note that, and it does say in it that depending on what your designs are and how you may change or add some things in, the costs may vary.
Great. When do you think the cheerleading industry is going to open back up again?
It's hard to say. I mean, everyone wants it to get back as soon as possible. Everyone's missing cheer, missing training. So I think everyone's eager to get back, but it has to be done when it's safe to do so. It's hard to say when it will be. I really do think that it's going to be a few more months until it is safe to do so. It's going to be next season.
We've got one EP holding on, haven't we?
I know we have, but I just think that it's going to be very difficult to attend that competition, and I think that a lot of teams probably will decide not to, just on the basis of safety. But it's horrible, really, having a season cut short, especially when it was Worlds and Summit teams. I felt so sorry for all those that were ready for that. If it could have been done just after that, it would have been a little bit more, I guess, okay.
Yeah, you sponsored a few teams, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. We try and sponsor some teams every year. Again, help out packages where we can. So we actually sponsored more teams than ever this year, and I was really looking forward to going down and seeing them and seeing their progress and stuff, and actually visiting them, not competing for once, but actually going out and seeing them at Worlds, and rather than it be my journey as a cheerleader, actually see their journey as a team for the first time, which I think would have been really, really bizarre, if I'm honest, not competing at all for the first time, on the basis that I did 2 Team England and Carve every single year up until now. But yeah, so it is horrible for that. We're doing what we can. A lot of the teams that we did stuff for, everyone puts the year on and brands it. So we've tried to do what we can to change the designs or remove something just so they can still have those items, potentially reuse them next year, which is what a few teams have done. So that's brilliant that we've managed to somehow do that. But yeah, it's hard to say when we'll all go back to normality, but we've just got to, like now I'm trying to take as many positives as we can during this period. I think I've actually, like I say, with all this time, I've sat back, I've done so much, all the little bits and bobs that I would never have done if we were at, normal life.
Yeah.
Taking a positive and actually, getting stuff like that done or whatever during this time, anything that you can do to make it a positive is what I'd recommend.
What packages did you sponsor them? Was it just T-shirts? Was it bags?
Yeah, so we had various teams had different things. We sponsored some T-shirts, sponsored some crop sets, some backpacks. So it is really depending on what teams kind of needed and what we could provide for them. Some of them or most of them were kind of partial sponsorships. We try and offer those out rather than full sponsorships, because then we can offer more of them to more people, again helping each team out. We know how expensive Worlds is, so anything that we can do to make each team's cost a little bit better.
I forgot you did crop sets.
Do it all.
Everything. That's like it's hard to be people. I bet people just think you're a T-shirt company.
Well, do you know what? That's the thing. We a lot of the stuff we do in house here, and a lot of the items are our main. The most popular product is a screen printed T-shirt, and then vinyl products we do here that are no minimum orders. But yeah, we do it all. We have our own factory line that produces all the crop sets, leggings, jackets, and actually basketball vests and baseball jerseys. But we're actually looking at a few new products at the minute. I don't know if you've seen a pair of the PN joggers that we've released.
They're on the wall behind you, aren't
they? Yeah, they are. I was supposed to have a pair on, but I don't have them on today. But we've released some PN joggers, and they are the comfiest things I've ever worn. We did a photo shoot. A few of the models had them, and they've said, "Can we keep these?" Because they're just so comfortable. So we're actually looking at bringing out a new. Rather than sublimation, a new polyester printed joggers and matching matching jacket to go with it. So yeah, really looking forward to that, and that's going to be able to make custom team designs.
Nice. You have to send me a pair so I can review them.
Yeah. Oh, of course, we'll get you a pair of joggers sent, mate.
I can ruin it. I can
ruin them. Don't ruin them.
Yeah. I can test them against the IDU joggers that I got sent.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that sounds good. I'll have to get you a pair, mate. They're honestly they're so comfortable.
Dude, I want a Coffee with the Sam podcast top two
We'll
cheer
make that
design
happen.
t-shirt.
We'll make that happen. All right, cool. So you need joggers and a hoodie or
I
something.
think no, just a t-shirt like with the print on, like with
Perfect.
a actually cheer print, like design like a cheer. I can't even just. How do you even explain a cheer design?
You know, I just explain it as just craziness on a
Like a
t-shirt.
hurricane on a t-shirt.
Yeah, it literally is. I mean, like I say, some people prefer the simple look, but I think that's what made it so different. Again, back when I started, made it so different, and made it such a niche market in that cheerleaders just go crazy. Like, who else would have something like that on a t-shirt? But it's brilliant. You know, there's so much kind of color and design and whatever that you can add into it. That
See it now. You're having to print a t-shirt with my face on it.
Challenge accepted. Let's do it.
With
Let's
the
do it.
swirls and orange and blue, it looked wow nice.
You know what? That's the other thing as well. We're still trying to push some orders through, and obviously I'm here with Jess, and basically we're still trying to get a few orders out. So I've gone back to where I first started, and I'm using all the machinery and printing jobs as well. Like, so it's really bizarre to kind of go back and do some of that. But yeah, definitely a challenge accepted.
Let's talk about your bags. We've got a few more minutes. Let's talk about your bags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go into the manufacturing process because that's probably another whole podcast on itself.
Yeah.
But sell your bag to the listeners.
Well, we basically, you know, been doing this or in this kind of industry for a long time, and I think a lot of people always come to us for backpacks. Most of the time we use a standard backpack with print or embroidery on it, but cheerleaders, again, they love glitter, they love the sparkle, so we kind of started to develop our own bag, and it took a pretty long time to do, but we wanted to develop something that was also a bit cheaper price point wise as well, just simply because, you know, it's, again, going to help cheerleaders out. It's something that would mean it's a lot more feasible for teams. So I've actually got one over there. Now I'll show you a little exclusive. So bear with me 2 seconds.
The podcast people will get annoyed because the YouTube viewers will be able to see it.
And we have a few different colours, but this is one of the new ones that's going to be released soon. It is a black on black, so black bag, black zips, with rhinestone logo, and then detachable bum bag. So obviously that just comes off. So we only have at the minute a black one with white zips, but we're doing this as well. So we sell our own standard backpacks, obviously all zips, all lined with lovely PN branding, which is brilliant. But yeah, it's such a good little backpack to have, really. I mean, the price point on these is a lot lower than normal glitter backpacks, but we also then offer these with team logos. So we basically, this is not printed, and you can either add your team logo in rhinestones or vinyl, and we just have a minimum of 3 for that. So it's a really good, it's really good thing to add to your merchandise list if, you know, you can afford it. If not, then we do our standard backpacks, which are the standard embroidery or vinyl. And I think that's what we love doing. We want to be able to cater for all kind of teams with all different budgets. So that's what we've tried to do.
No, I love it. And support a UK company. That's what I would say. Support a UK company.
Definitely.
Because obviously the main bag, we're not going to say the name, but the main bag doesn't come from the UK. So it's nice that it's not. There's been other products made out there to try and not combat, but replace that bag in the UK. But I feel, this is not me being biased, but yours is a pretty good, robust product. And some time and some detail and some attention to it has been taken, not just let's quickly get a bag out there to replace the other bag on the market.
Yeah, we've took some time kind of to develop and plan it, and tried to add features that are going to be, going to be beneficial. You know, there's still a lot of work to do. We can probably release another version eventually where there's even better changes. But, you know, for now, I mean, it is pretty damn good. And it's perfect for what's, you know, needed in terms of, I guess, the size, the easy access for cheerleaders with all their makeup and phones and whatever at competitions. And that's kind of the whole point of it.
But if there's any other companies that are listening or watching this and they want to change my mind, send me the products and try and change my mind. I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. Good. So they can find you on social media, Power Nation Cheer.
Yep.
And then www.powernationcheer.com. Powernationcheer.com. Perfect.
Brilliant, mate.
I'm excited. See you later.
Yeah. Thanks very much, Sam.
Love you, bro. See you later, Jess. Bye-bye.